up to the front. Show's about to begin. Oh, hope you got a good day going for yourself. I am trying. I am truly trying this morning to get everything in order. And we do have a lot to do. I don't want to keep you waiting this morning, so I'm just going to jump on in. We'll finish up this. There we are. It is, in fact, a Monday. It is the 31st of August for 2020. And it is the last day of the month, as a matter of fact. What a long weekend it was. And if you've been kind of paying attention to what's going on, we've kind of been doing our updates throughout the weekend because, I don't know, I kept a little journal. I was trying to keep it like a hurricane journal. So I started before I left the house, and then while I was at the station, while I was out covering the hurricane, when I left the station, when I came home, and then I found out I didn't have any power like many of you and went without. In fact, I got mine yesterday afternoon. So last night was the first time in 4 days that I slept in a really cool room, which felt really good. Now, I'm not rubbing it in for the folks that might be out there watching and don't have power, because I relate. I do. I spent untold amounts of money on gasoline, trying to keep a generator running. You know, it was a daily thing. So I know where you're at. All right, so we're going to spend some time this morning talking about that. Power outages, where are they? We'll talk about not just Southeast Texas, Southwest Louisiana, but we'll get up in the lakes area because Jasper Newton Electrical Co-op has released some numbers, and I kind of want you to know what those numbers are, right? I think that's important. So I'm looking right now for those numbers. So we'll have those as part of our update this morning. So you may be saying to yourself, well, exactly how many people are without power this morning? Aren't we all back? Because it's always a case of the haves and the have-nots, right? You have a lot of folks who are like, well, my power's been on since Thursday. I don't know what all the hullabaloo's about. Do the people even say that anymore, hullabaloo? But, you know, what's the issue? What's going on? Then other people are like, are you kidding me? I've been sweating in my own home. You know, there's no place that I can go. You think, oh, well, I'm going to have a generator. Well, if you have a generator but you don't have the AC, all it can do is run the fans. It can save what's in the refrigerator, but unless you're planning on standing in front of the open door, there's not a whole lot of cool to go around. It's doable. I think with a generator, it's doable because you can turn some fans on high, but it's still not the same as having electricity. But it's certainly, listen, I've been saying it since landfall. You know, better no power than no house. Too many people this morning waking up to a whole lot more to worry about than what I have this morning. All right, let's start things off. In fact, let's go ahead and start off with Entergy this morning, and we'll just kind of show you where everybody stands. Here we go. There's a look at the current outage map for Entergy this morning. Pull it down a little bit so you can maybe see a little bit better. Now, as you can see, this is really us. All of that is Louisiana. And we really can discount that for quite some time. In fact, probably months before I hope not, but if I were there, I would be fearing that might be the case. But let's go ahead and bring it on down. You can see they have now got it down to the point where really in Beaumont proper, you're talking about a handful of outages. Now, if you're one of those people, it's still too many, but you can see it's down to a very small number. There's still a pretty good outlet right there over by Lamar University. But then you get into Mid and South County, story changes. Lots of folks. I think Port Neches, that's even an improvement since this morning. But you can see a whole lot of folks in Nederland there are still without. And in Port Arthur and Groves, a lot of folks are doing without, still down in Port Arthur. But then you go across the bridge, Rainbow Bridge, get over into Orange County, and there's more red than there is green in Orange County. And that stretches all the way up to Mauriceville, Pine Forest, all of those locations. So let's see what their current numbers say. You can do this yourself. You just go into their website and it says outages by county. When I went on the air this morning, there were 54,000 plus. There are now 53,000. And you can see the bulk now in orange. There are now 32,000 in orange as opposed to 20,000 in Jefferson County. It wasn't that long ago that in Jefferson County, you were talking about, I want to say it was close to 70,000 people that didn't have power. So they've definitely got it down. I think they're calling it 60%. 60% of customers, the maximum number of customers that were without have been returned to service. But again, that's still 40 that are waiting for service. And when you're waiting, every hour seems to drag by. I also wanted to show you that if you go to the KFDM Facebook page, that if you go on down through the page, eventually you will come. If you're one of those folks, you live up in the lakes area and you're like, well, what's in this for me? You can go and look at this. This will tell you exactly what's going on about down lines, how many people. They're saying they've restored power to 7,798, but that leaves 13,202 people without power. And that's the Jasper Newton Electrical Co-op. Now, estimated times. That's why the first word says estimated, because they can't tell you exactly. Estimated times range anywhere, and you can do this at your house, okay? If you see let's say a purple dot, you click on that and it will tell you estimated time of restoration is September the 4th. You do the math. Today is the 31st. So that means it's going to be Friday. They estimate it will be Friday. Okay? That's a long time. 4 days was a long time. 5 more would have been, but it's doable. We know it's doable. You just kind of have to, And Entergy, for the most part, is saying they hope to have everyone in Texas back by Friday. And again, if you get depressed about that, just travel on down I-10 and look at Vinton and Sulphur and Carlos and Lake Charles, and then you can start going north because it just continues on. And, that's the end of their coverage area going that way until you start getting up in some of the, and then you just keep going. So you think you got problems? All the way up through Ruston, into Arkansas, El Dorado. So, it's a big issue for Entergy. They've got thousands of people from all over the country. I had this weekend at my house, I had people from Maryland and I had people from Alabama. Talked to them both. I said, man, careful with the heat from Maryland. You may not be used to this humidity. And the linemen are working their tails off. They really are. I talked to these guys and they were like, it ain't our home, but we treat it like it is. We want you to get back on as soon as possible. There are a lot of guys doing some very tough jobs in some very uncomfortable situations. Keep that in mind. Tell them you appreciate them. I certainly do. Yeah, would I have liked to have had my power 3 days earlier? Sure, I would have been. Yeah, but again, you got to be realistic about what's going on. Again, encourage you, drop us a like if you want. You can also follow if you want. You can also just add a comment if you want. Let's see, Rocky Clay is up with us this morning. Hey, Rocky. Terry is here. Owen is here this morning. Chason is here this morning. Also, Joshua Orlando. Good morning to you, sir. Betty Williams is joining us this morning. Danielle, good morning. Joseph. Yo to you as well. Grandmother, good morning, Dan. Thanks for keeping us posted during Hurricane Laura. Esther, more than glad to. That's my job, and it is my community too. Joseph says, So I'm not sure about what Joseph is saying there. Anita Rice, Whitfield, good morning to you as well. Good morning to Evadale, to Ashley. Also, Angela is Nederland via San Antonio. Smart, Angela, smart. Don't come home until there's power on if you don't have to. Now, for a lot of folks, that's not a possibility. Economically, or for whatever reason, you're there. Then you've got to make the most of it. But if you can afford to stay away, I would be watching me some Entergy outage maps. And when the power was back, that's when I would come rolling into town. If you can afford to do it. Is your boss going to give you off that much time? I don't know. Regina says, I was trying to read it. I've been waiting on y'all. I can't even watch TV. It'll be so good to see y'all's face and hear the news. Well, we look forward to doing it too. Tracy Turner in Newton County. Let's talk for a second about what happened. Because we haven't had our community get together since Laura made landfall. And a lot of people well, I don't understand, why some people, I didn't think anybody got any damage. I thought it was that's not true. Some places got a lot more wind than others. And those places that got more wind are pretty obvious now. Orange County and South Jefferson County and the Lakes area. The winds in Beaumont proper, 57 max, I think. But some of these other places, they had winds in excess of 90, close to 100 miles an hour. Schools shut down, a lot of them. You're just going to have to check almost every day, to see what's going on. Again, I think that somebody asked me for my headline of the day. I said, Great Escape. How did, we escaped it? I understand somebody had to be, oh, you're so stupid because it just means the west side gets less wind. That's why you were so forth. I get that part. I understand storms. I understand the function of how it works. But what I thought was unbelievable watching it is how it's headed our way, and then about an hour and a half before landfall, suddenly it makes a 30-mile adjustment. And 30 miles in this kind of a storm makes all the difference. You bring 30 miles back towards the Sabine River, and it's a whole nother story this morning in a very populated area. It would be Lake Charles in Texas, and if you haven't seen the pictures, let me show you some of the pictures from Lake Charles. That's a good thing to do. And I've done this long enough. I've been through 12 hurricanes. I can tell you this. Pictures never do it justice. What you see in a photograph is never what it looks like on the ground. I've been on the Bolivar Peninsula when there was one house standing. I've been in neighborhoods when you couldn't see houses for trees laying on the ground. It's never the same. Look at that. Look at that. Roof's gone. There's some great photos out there of what happened in Lake Charles. Did every single person in Lake Charles lose their house? No. But that's not the way it works. And the storm surge, boy, how lucky were we. Look at all the power lines down. That whole, as far as you can see, there's one power pole that's still upright. Look at this, an entire apartment complex. There are a lot of people suffering over in Lake Charles. Well, there are a lot of people that are coming into Lake Charles and then leaving Lake Charles. You come in, you do some work, and then you get out. They've got curfews going on, among other things. All right, I want to jump into some more headlines here. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on, KFDM.com. You can go and check on what schools are open, what schools are closed. You can also find out if you're one of those folks going without power and you need some ice, you need some water, then you need to check our website because we've got a good list of where you can find them. You can go and check that HEB Mobile Kitchen's going to be there. I've been working with an organization that I think is one that is doing a great job. Jose Andres group, which is called World Central Kitchen. And they are 8,000 meals. 8,000 meals they did yesterday. And we'll be back at it again today. Hot meals that will be delivered. And they will be delivered here in Southeast Texas as well as Southwest Louisiana. Lots of support out there. And you can also go in, take a look at Orange County residents, what's happening there. As I mentioned, there's also a list of all the schools that are out in some of those different places in Orange County. I would suggest to you, if you really want to know, always go to the Facebook page. I think, to me, the Facebook page is more of a community page where you're going to get a lot more of these listings about who's doing what. See, there's the HEB Kitchen story on LifeShare. And here's the thing that you're going to have to be careful of. That extended forecast. Look at that. 94, 94, 95. There are heat warnings in effect. So keep that in mind when you go out today. No matter whether you're going to be working in it or just living in it, it's going to be extreme. These heat extremes, they're in place until 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock. When you would think, oh, that's when I'm going to go do my stuff. No, it's still going to be hot at 8 o'clock. All right, let's check out some comments this morning. Here's one. Marilyn Martin, watching from Pearland, waiting for power restoration in Orange. Hardworking folks back there. There are. And there are a lot of folks, Marilyn, in your community that are working hard too, along with your county officials. But I also saw where Texas Baptist men are in your town, and they were doing some sawing. They were cutting some things up. Michelle Lindsay, can you please give any information for Orange County for food help and ice, etc. this week? 100 plus temps, no power, no way to cook, no hot meals, any help on locations? I know of 4 locations, Michelle, that I can tell you about this morning. I know the Orange Boat Dock is going to be one of those locations that you go to. I know that the Bridge City Intermediate School is one of those places. And in Vidor, it's Turning Point Church. And they're all handing out ice, water, and MREs, ready-to-eat meals. Or you can also go to MacArthur and 28th, and that's where the HEB kitchen is set up. It's a drive-through. You don't get out. You drive through. You can get a hot meal. You can get ice and water. You may have to wait for it because there are other people, in line with you, but it can be done and you can get them there. I'm just looking at the different things here, trying to find out questions that maybe we need to. And Orange, again, MacArthur Drive giveaway, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Somebody says, I know my friends over at KOGT in Orange. I saw where they were posting that they were going to be out and that they were going to be doing meals as well. I'll see if I can pull up theirs real quick and see what it says. Somebody asked, is Dan ever going to go back to the studio and his real job? Dan has been at the studio every day, my friends. He's also doing this. I think his wife thinks that he doesn't do anything but this. All right, so there's KOGT. I'm going to show you this because I think it is a great source in Orange County. Gary Stelly and his folks do a good job. There's one of those pods opening, as I said. If you want to check out the story, it just tells you there's the distribution points. I hope you can see them. Orange Boat Ramp, Bridge City, Mauriceville, on Highway 62 North, Vidor at Turning Point. And again, they're going to be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Port Arthur also has one set up as well. There are a lot of different sources out there, a lot of good people trying to keep you informed with everything that's going on. All right, I think I have pretty much done my time limit for today. I have to get out to another meeting. But let me do this before I go this morning. I want to encourage you. If you are, and I think we're all affected, but if you count yourself among the unaffected, then do something for your neighbors. Reach out, and whether it's reaching into your pocket and making a financial donation to one of these organizations or your time. As I mentioned, I think it's one of those easy ones to go to, and that is World Central Kitchen, where you can go and you can volunteer your time. I'm going to be doing that this afternoon. I was told it's at Regina Howell Elementary School. You can go online and volunteer. They served, like I said, 8,000 meals yesterday, and they're going to try to do at least that many more across Southeast Texas, Southwest Louisiana. And again, 2 things I need to caution you about. Generator safety. If you're running a generator because you don't have power, for goodness sakes, do not put it in an enclosed space. I guess sometimes we think that's just common sense, but it's not. There are a lot of people that just think, okay, I'm going to cool it's the first time I've ever had a generator. I don't have extension. I don't have extensions, cords that are long enough that I can do that, that I can run them all over the house. Then, you're going to have to work with it, but please, not in an enclosed place. Probably not even, you're saying, well, my garage, the door's open. Yeah, but all that carbon monoxide gets built up inside that one room. Even with that door open, you walk out there, you can be overcome. We have had 3 people die. We have 4 people that are in the hospital in intensive care, critical conditions because of misuse of a generator. I was listening to the sheriff in Calcasieu Parish last night talking to his people saying, look, don't even put this under a carport at this point because it can hold fumes under the roof. Have the exhaust pointing away from your house. Be smart. Don't try to fuel up. Somebody lost their house in Port Neches. It was apparently an explosion of some kind. So be careful. Turn the generator off if you're putting more gas in. Let it sit for 15 minutes. Fill it up, start it again. Don't try to, I've got the cap off, I'll just pour it in. Fumes are everywhere, hot exhaust, and then you've got problems, all right? So that's warning number 1. Warning number 2, I know we want to help, but let's don't get caught up in sending the wrong things to people in need. There are a lot of people that maybe they need cleaning supplies, they need water, they need plastic bags, they need food, but they probably don't need some other things. Like old clothes that you just need to get rid of. I understand, I'm not questioning your generosity. It's just when. And I'm not sure, having been through this and watched people throw away bags of clothes because they had nothing, there was nothing they could do with them, be smart in your giving is what I'm saying. Same thing, the organizations. Be smart with the organizations you give to. Go and make sure that they're really there. Go and make sure the kind of work is the kind of work you support. All right? But there's nothing wrong with being generous. And we may give you a way to do that in the very near future on the morning show as well. All right. Got to run for another meeting. But again, appreciate your time. I do. I always like I read every one of your messages. So thanks for weighing in. That gives me a little time to recognize there are a lot of people out there that are, watching and needing information and wanting to stay ahead of what's going on. And we'll do our best to do that, whether it's with KFDM.com or if it's here on our live stream on the Facebook page. And again, there are several ways that you can keep up with me. I get so caught up sometimes I forget all the things I need to be doing. But you can also catch up with us by going to the Facebook page that you're on right now. Follow me on Twitter, Morning TV Dan, and you can also watch these same updates on our YouTube channel called @Dan's at Home. All right, so all of those are posted there as well. Again, I appreciate your time today, and look forward to seeing you back bright and early tomorrow morning on the television show, then here on the at-home update about 9 o'clock as well. All right, go out and make it a terrific day. Do something for somebody else. Think about somebody other than yourself, but take care of yourself. But at the same time, think about somebody else and get involved in your community. I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Until then, so long.